Gemini needs someone to push back a little bit. Otherwise, they get bored. You see what I'm saying? So if Gemini feels like when they're with you, you keep up with them and their communication style, and you don't judge them when they have that like scattered brain, like going off topic, you know, like you're excited to go on these side quests, you know, side quests being the side conversations that they have with you, they will feel like, okay, this can last because you're not making me feel weird about the fact that I love to jump around, you know, within the same conversation, you know? So Gemini will really appreciate that about you. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. It feels so weird to say that, but here we are. I mean, I myself, I don't really think I believe in dates and times. Like, it is just all an illusion to me, which is funny because I don't have any Pisces placements except for my Saturn. But I also, much like Pisces placements, don't really believe in the concept of time. Like, clearly it was made up to make us more productive. And that ultimately just makes me feel weird and like corny every time. Like, I'm like, Happy New Year, like 2025. Like, it feels just like yesterday. I'm sorry. Like, yes, new energy. I believe in that. But also, it's like, what's the difference from last week to this week? Besides, like, a few numbers. You feel me? But anyway, that is not what this video is about. This video is a zodiac list, and I'm very excited. This is from Spirituality Diary on Instagram. They have some amazing content, so go check out their page. I'm gonna post it here. It's actually an Instagram post and it has every sign in it. But essentially what we're reacting to is how each zodiac sign will recognize their soulmate, which I thought was really interesting because I think with some of these lists, these zodiac lists, the themes can get a little repetitive, but I really enjoyed seeing what was picked for each sign. So we're just gonna go through it. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it, if I agree, if I disagree. You guys are gonna tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments, because we love to just dissect these lists and it's really fun to do so. Let's just get into it. Okay, first up is Aries. How Aries will recognize their soulmate. This is how you'll recognize that you found your soulmate. You'll let them win. Ooh, I actually love this one. Pause while, okay. I actually love this one because it's true. Aries does not like to lose, you know. That's not a hot take. They're Mars ruled, so they're very competitive and they love to, you know, show you what they're all about. They love to show up and show out just naturally. They're not always doing it to impress somebody. Like, that is just the energy that they're leading their life with. They want to be the best at everything. Like, that is where their confidence comes from, is knowing that they're putting their best foot forward, they're giving it their all, and they're gonna win, you know? That is ultimately what makes them happy in life. That's why they're so competitive, you know? In order to be a winner, you have to be competitive, you know? You have to get up. Even when you keep falling, you have to keep getting up, and that is very much Aries. Like, I don't see Aries being that person that's like, oh, like, I've been winning like too often, like, I'm gonna let you like take this game, like with their friends, like, you know what I mean? They're like, no, I'm gonna dominate this game. If I won 10 times in a row, that sounds like a you problem. You kind of suck at this game. Like, they'll double down on it. But if an Aries like is treating you gently, you know, which is like, gently, Aries, what are you talking about, Sarah? Yes, gently. If an Aries is babying you a little bit, or like kind of like showing you how to play, like, they are truly fucking with you. You know what I mean? Because when an Aries lets their competitiveness take a back seat to see you win or to see you thrive or to teach you, I feel like that's how you know they're down bad and they're about you. Okay, next we have Taurus. How Taurus recognizes that someone is their soulmate. Taurus, you'll want to spend more on them than anyone before. Yeah, the thing with Taurus is that they very much like to spoil people, right? Like, whether it's with food, gifts, you know, quality time, they are lovers. They are Venus ruled. When Taurus is really, 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 really about you, they will spend a whole lot of money on you. And this is, honestly, this is just the truth. Don't get mad at what I'm about to say, Taurus. Tauruses can be frugal. They can be frugal. And that doesn't mean that they're like broke. No, they're just very, very, very cautious of what they spend their money on. Like Taurus is ruled by the 7th house of your possessions, right? So sometimes Tauruses can be hoarders. They like to like hold on to things. So same thing with like money, right? Even though they probably have a lot of it because they are Venus ruled. And my thing is, when a Taurus is really, really into you and they feel like this is it for the long haul, like what they have is yours, you know, that they love spending money on you. But if they don't feel that, they don't feel the need to spend any of their hard-earned dollars on you. They'd rather spend it on themselves, you know, they have nothing to prove. But when it comes to someone that they feel like, oh, this is like someone I want to see win. This is someone that I want to spoil. Like, I want to see you in that new, I don't know, pair of pants. I want to see you wearing this perfume. They're like thinking about all these things that they can get you for you to live like a happier life, a fulfilled life. They're thinking about these things and they have no problem being the person that provides you with those things. You know what I mean? So it really takes a special kind of person where Taurus really feels like they want to spoil them and spend their money on them. Next is Gemini. So this is how Gemini, you recognize a soulmate. You will effectively communicate with each other. And you're probably thinking, well, Gemini is Mercury ruled. Mercury is the planet of communication. Why wouldn't Gemini communicate effectively with everybody? Not everyone has the same communication style. You know what I mean? And not everyone, you know, has a mind that moves at such a fast pace as a Gemini does and is able to hop back and forth between multiple conversations. Like, you know, when something's super serious, something super not serious, but then you can go back to that serious. Like, you have to keep up with Gemini if you are someone that is a contender for being their lifelong partner. You know what I mean? Because Gemini, yeah, they can get along with everybody and have fun, but for a long-term relationship, a soulmate, which is what this list is about, Gemini needs someone, obviously, where they can have all of these different personalities of theirs be tended to, you know? If they're with someone that doesn't, even though it's fun to be the one that's like always yapping and, you know, your partner's just quiet, I don't think that works with a Gemini, whatever the other sign is, dynamic, because Gemini needs someone to push back a little bit. Otherwise, they get bored. You see what I'm saying? So if Gemini feels like when they're with you, you keep up with them and their communication style, and you don't judge them when they have that like scattered brain, like going off topic, you know, like you're excited to go on these side quests, you know, side quests being the side conversations that they have with you, they will feel like, okay, this can last because you're not making me feel weird about the fact that I love to jump around, you know, within the same conversation, you know? So Gemini will really appreciate that about you. Okay, next we have Cancer. For Cancer, this is how you recognize your soulmate. They'll bring out your soft side. Again, you're probably thinking, isn't Cancer like mushy and soft all the time? Yes, that is their essence, but you guys, we all know Cancers, like they are still a cardinal sign. And when you're cardinal, you know, you're kind of shouting and screaming, except for Libra, about what you want, about what you deserve, about what you're not fucking with. And Cancer can be very, very intense. You know what I mean? They just want to make sure that they're making the right decision about the people that they're with. So I think a lot of times Cancer can be as judgmental, let's say, as a Scorpio when it comes to relationships, because they're sussing you out, because once they bring you around to their chosen family, you know, Cancer really values their family and their chosen family. So if they're taking you seriously enough where they're bringing you around, at that point you're getting to the stage where you're about to see their soft side. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like before then, Cancer is honestly one of the most social water signs. So they're really good at like, you know, just having fun with you, joking around with you. But then when it feels like, okay, this is getting serious and they're going to bring you around, that's when you'll really start seeing their nurturing side. Because Cancers are nurturers no matter what. But when you see a Cancer in their element around their friends and around their family, you see their super ooey gooey mushy side, right? Like you really see them tending to the people that they love. And I don't think, usually Cancers that are high vibrational, they're not giving that, you know, soft, tender energy right away. Because you Cancers, you should know that that's a special, you know, that's a special part of you. Not everyone deserves it. So I feel like when Cancer meets someone where they feel like, okay, you're a contender, you're like a lifelong partner, they are super, super soft with you, and they don't feel the need to, you know, use their, you know, hard shells. Because a crab, you know, has shells, but the inside is mushy, right? So that's Cancer, and like they don't always want to lead with that. They want you to see that softness that they have within. Okay, next we have Leo. Okay, for Leo, this is how you know that you found your soulmate. You'll want to stay at home with them on the weekends. That one is interesting. And yeah, I feel like, you know, Leos are obviously very social and they want to be seen and adored, and they want to keep up, you know, with what's going on around town, with what's going on in the world, in pop culture. Like they want to be in on it. You know what I mean? And that like slow life isn't always something that they're interested towards, I feel like, when they're dating, when they're, you know, just having fun. But I feel like when a relationship becomes serious, Leos do enjoy that quality time together away from everyone. Not to say that they're just no longer social anymore. No, these are very social people. But Leo is also ruled by the 5th house of self-expression and passion and creativity and your inner child, right? So I feel like when you meet that soulmate type of person, of course, for a Leo, they still want to be able to have fun with them and go out with them, but they also want to make sure that our inner childs are having fun together. And when you are spending quality alone time, usually at home with someone that you love, that's how you know that your inner childs get each other and that you feel safe with each other. And it's just fun to express yourselves when it's just the two of you. So I think for Leo, when they find someone that they can truly let their inner child free with, that's when they know they found a soulmate type of person. Because yes, you know, the glamour and the going out, all that stuff is fun. And it's always going to be enticing to Leo energy. But again, the other side of the 5th house is very much that carefree, childlike energy where you can just be yourselves, you know, and you can just feel the warmth of each other's energies. Okay, next we have Virgo, and this one is good. This one is good. I love this for Virgo. Okay, this is how you know that you found your soulmate, Virgo. You will show them your mistakes. Ooh. First of all, I know you Virgos are like, what mistakes? What mistakes are you talking about? Like, you guys are probably like triggered right now because you're like, what, somebody saw me mess up? Like, that's crazy. I never mess up. You do. You do. You're better at hiding it, and you probably don't do it as often as other people. Or you're just better at hiding it, which makes us think you don't do it as often as other people. But I digress. Anyway, with Virgo, obviously when you're a perfectionist, and also it comes back to the judginess of Virgo, it's because you're a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like you have the eye of someone that does things a certain way, right? You have the eye for a certain aesthetic. You have the eye for certain type of behaviors that you are okay with and certain type of behaviors that you're not. Like that's why Virgos can be really, really picky when it comes to relationships and settling down, because they get the ick often, like brother, like every other 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Because they're so hyper aware of how people move, you know, and what kind of people they are and how they talk and how they express themselves and how they dress, you know, if they have motivation. Like Virgo's thinking about all these things because they're such perfectionists, right? And they expect perfection from the people that they're with as well, because they hold themselves to such a high standard. They're like, okay, well, you have to be there too, you know? But again, they hate showing anyone that they've made mistakes because they feel like it makes them look weak. Like there's something wrong. Even though I work so hard, harder than the average person to be perfect, even I make mistakes. Like, oh my God, you know, like it's crazy for them to come to terms with that. So they try to hide it for as long as possible. But then when they find someone that just naturally gives them grace, and when a partner just naturally creates that safe space for them to make these mistakes, or, you know, you just have a partner that like, you know, saw you make a mistake, but they're not like, oh, look what you did. Like you did it wrong. Like Virgo needs someone that can kind of look the other way or make them giggle when they make a mistake. Like be cool about it. You know what I mean? Because they are very, very sensitive. But then on the other end, Virgo, you have to be cool about it when your partner is making mistakes too. So it's a two-way street. But I definitely agree that for Virgo, you know that they really, really, really fuck with you if they're telling you what's wrong in their life, if they're telling you how they fucked up, because then they really feel safe enough around you where they feel like you won't judge them for it and you won't think less of them now just because you saw that they have these imperfections. Okay, next is Libra. So for Libra, this is how you recognize your soulmate. You will support each other where you need it most. Absolutely. You know, Libra, we always talk about how because they're the scale, right? They love to keep everything balanced, and in any relationship, they can really, you know, become what people need them to be. And they can be the exact type of support that you need, you know, because they're socially intelligent. They can read in between the lines and understand what people need from them. So they can become exactly that and give you exactly that. And I feel like it doesn't always obviously get reciprocated because also Libra is so easygoing, you know. A lot of times people have a hard time knowing when Libra's not okay, you know. Libra is really, really good at hiding their negative feelings, and it comes from a deeper place of being Venus ruled and, you know, you feeling like it's ugly to have bad emotions. Like you're like almost ashamed by these sad, angry emotions, Libra. You suppress them a lot because you're Aries' sister sign, which is not good. But when you do that, it makes people think that you're okay all the time, right? So they're like, oh, Libra's always good. And then it comes back to you just not ever feeling supported in the relationship. But the other person doesn't know either because you never let them know that you're not okay. So Libra needs someone that naturally reads the room and reads them just like they're able to read other people, and knows when Libra is just putting on that fake smile and is like, yeah, I'm fine. Like everything's fine. Like they need a partner that can gently, you know, pull it out of them, much like Virgo. Be like, okay, like what's wrong? Like, let's talk about it. Let me support you. And conflict isn't bad. Conflict isn't scary. Like they need a partner that reassures them that if there is conflict and if there is disharmony and if you're not okay, we can talk about it and we can fix it. Just let me support you, you know? But I feel like for Libra, because they're so afraid of conflict and negative emotions, they're scared of bringing it up to their partner. They're scared of having these conversations regards to what they need because they're scared of it being too much, and of their partner, whoever they're with, looking at them and being like, no, I don't want to do all that, you know? That's why they try to people please often when they're at their lowest vibration, because they're desperately trying to hold on to all of their connections, because they're also very much partnership oriented people, right? So to them, all of their partnerships, all of their, you know, connections, which is in the thousands, they mean something to them. And it hurts them when they're not able to nurture every single relationship, you know, but that's just not possible. So at least with your partner, I feel like that is when you know you really found the one, someone that reads in between the lines and can tell when you're faking it to everyone else and pretending to be happy. Okay, next you have Scorpio. Okay, for Scorpio, this is how you Scorpios recognize your soulmate. You'll be thinking about how much you love them in the middle of sex. It always just comes back to sex for us Scorpios, huh? Yeah, no, I think intimacy is obviously a really, really big deal for Scorpio placements. It's no surprise or shock to anyone, unless you're a beginner in astrology, that sex is very important for Scorpios, more so in the sense that we really want to make sure that the people that we're sharing a sexual bond with are people that we trust. You know, a lot of Scorpios, that is something that they're always thinking. And even if there's a Scorpio that is out here, I don't know, pulling it up in the streets, trust me, they have these thoughts in their head where they're like, oh, that didn't feel right. Like that didn't hit right. Yeah, it did it because there was no emotional connection. You know what I mean? Or that person is absolutely horrible. Like their energy is so gross and vile, but you just decided to, you know, be lustful, and you know, had sexual relations with that man, with that woman, and now you feel icky afterwards. And you're like, why do I feel icky? Well, you just exchanged energy with someone that probably is not a good person. You know what I mean? So I think Scorpio placements understand that. They understand the importance of, you know, connecting with people sexually and what it means and what it does to your soul. So because of that, I feel like when a Scorpio is, you know, connecting with people sexually, when they're having sex, and they feel like their heart is in it, it's almost like two souls, like, you know, completely locking in with each other. And that may sound a little like intense for other people that maybe aren't water signs, but like for Scorpio, like if they're thinking about their feelings when they're, you know, in the middle of that moment, like that means that they are so locked in with you and that they just don't see a future without you. You know what I mean? Because for Scorpio, it's not just about sex. For Scorpio, it's such an emotional bond. So when sex and emotions come together for Scorpio, now they feel like they're bonded to you for life. And you know, that's a very scary place. And that's why Scorpios, they always say with Scorpios, they can be very vengeful when it comes to their exes. It's really hard for them to forgive and forget people. Like all of that comes from a place of we feel things very, very deeply and our emotions are so strong. So when you have sexual relations with somebody, no matter what, there's an energy exchange there. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely feel like your souls are definitely super connected when you're having sex with people. And that's why I feel like a lot of Scorpios don't want to have sex with people that they don't feel emotionally tied to, because they feel like it just doesn't feel right. Like our souls are going to be seeing each other. So why would I be doing that with you if I don't feel like our souls need to meet in that way, right? And Scorpio is hyper aware of that. Also, I think there's a certain level of intensity when you're able to be in that moment during sex, and not a lot of people are, especially if you're just having casual sex or whatever. You're just like doing it for pleasure, and like there's a different type of pleasure when it's with someone you love, and I think Scorpio truly understands that. Okay, next we have Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, this is how you know that you found your soulmate. You'll let them tame you. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. You know, Sagittarius, they don't want to be tamed, and they're coming in like a wrecking ball. Like, you know, like to me, like one of the most iconic Sagittarius women besides Nikki, there's a lot of iconic Sagittarius women, is Miley Cyrus, right? Like Sagittarius don't want to be tamed, you know? They want to live it up. They hate living by the rules that society has created for them when it comes to like relationships and their identity and, you know, suddenly becoming one with your person. Like, brother, once more for Sagittarius. But I feel like no matter what, in relationships, no matter what, you get tamed a little bit. Some people get tamed a lot. Sagittarius gets tamed a little bit, and that to them shows that, hey, like I really care about this person. If I am allowing myself to be tamed and to even think about you a little bit before I make decisions, that is a big deal for Sagittarius, because Sagittarius typically, you know, they're ruled by Jupiter, so they're out here having a good time. Like they're making decisions based off of what's the best time, you know, like how can we have the best time here? And that's the way I'm gonna go. But when you're in a relationship, you have to consider somebody else, which is why Sagittarius doesn't always want to get in relationships, because they want to worry about themselves and they want to be out here having fun and they don't want to have any rules attached to them or their life. So they really know they found their soulmate and someone that they take seriously if they are thinking about that person before they make these decisions. And yes, this is a feel-good decision, but it probably wouldn't make my partner feel good, so I'm not going to do that. And that is a very, very big step for Sagittarius. Because like I said, Sagittarius wants to have a good time and they want to explore and they want to see, you know, where life takes them. They love to say yes to things, and that's why a lot of times certain relationships don't work for Sagittarius, because their partner has too many expectations on them and their partner wants them to consider them all the time. And that's not good. Like Sagittarius, when you are deciding if you want to be with someone, ask yourself, is this an independent person? Because you need also someone that is independent and that does their own thing. Because if you're with someone that just wants to be attached at the hip, you're going to get sick of that shit so easily. And you're going to feel like you're drowning, like you're caged in, right? So I feel like the right person can do their own thing, but you love and respect them so much, and you love that they give you your space to be you, which is why now you're allowing them to tame you just a little bit. Okay, next we have Capricorn, and I also love this one a lot. Okay, Capricorn, this is how you recognize that you found your soulmate. You'll write them into your 5-year plan. Yeah, and if you're a Capricorn, you're like, I don't have a 5-year plan. You think about the future and you think about it often. Do not even play with me. You know you do. You know you're constantly thinking about how it's gonna go. Is it gonna be like this? Like, I wonder if so-and-so is gonna be there. Are they good enough for me in the future? Because this is what I want to do in the future. And like, are they about that? You're constantly thinking about how it can all work out. So that is basically the equivalent of a 5-year plan. And yes, it's true. Capricorn doesn't take many people seriously. And I love that. I think honestly it's one of my favorite traits about you guys. I mean, I'm a Cap rising, so I get it. Like, it takes a lot to impress a Capricorn, and it also, you know, can be trauma. You know, it also can be because they're Saturn ruled, so they have such high expectations of what it's supposed to be, and because they have been disappointed in the past, they just don't have high expectations from people. But if they feel like this is serious and that they take you seriously and they're just, you know, charmed, they're impressed by you, then that's how you know that they're really, really about you and that they see you as a, you know, potential future partner or soulmate, because they've already done the work to incorporate you into their life and to view their life and think about how it will match with you being there. Like, if a Capricorn is talking to you about the future and making any sort of plans with you about the future, yeah, they're thinking about you, they take you seriously, there's longevity here, and they value you, right? Because you'll know if a Capricorn is just doing this for fun. And I mean, that doesn't happen often. Like, Capricorn's not the type to just be doing shit for fun. But if they're going through something, if they're going through a phase, and you're like, well, Capricorn never talks to me about these things, then they don't take you seriously. They just don't. You know what I mean? Because Capricorn is usually a very serious person. That doesn't mean that they can't have fun, but I'm saying naturally very serious. So they're thinking about things that are serious, such as the future, 5-year plan. And they want to make sure that the people that they're, you know, spending their time with are people that they can really see building a life with, you know, because what's the point of dating if there's no future here, you know? They're constantly thinking about whether this can last. So that's how you know that a Capricorn, you know, is taking you seriously and that they see you as a contender in their future, is when they are including you in it, you know? Okay, next we have Aquarius. This is how, Aquarius, you will recognize a soulmate. You will change your mind about long-term commitments. It's kind of giving a little bit of Sag, and it makes sense. Sag and Aquarius are, I would say, the most untraditional signs when it comes to what they expect out of a relationship. Aquarius in general, again, hates to be tied down. They hate to be seen as someone that just lives life by the rules, you know? They hate doing what's expected of them and what society expects of them, what their family expects of them. They're allergic to that shit, you know? Like, they constantly want to surprise themselves. And of course, the world, duh, that's a given. But like, surprise themselves by the new things that they're trying, the new ways of living that they're incorporating into their life. They're very futuristic like that, you know? They're thinking about new ways that probably aren't, you know, popular right now. But the thing that Aquarius came up with, in 5-10 years now, everyone's doing it. Like, that's how Aquarius, you know, thinks about things. And to Aquarius, a lot of times long-term commitment means that they have to, again, agree with someone, agree with this set of rules. And no matter what, you guys, in a relationship, yeah, you guys have a set of rules. Sometimes those rules are unspoken, like, we shouldn't cheat on each other. We should eat dinner together if we're together. You know what I mean? Like shit like that, right? I mean, some people, even though it's like a given, they still be fucking breaking these rules. But anyway, a lot of times when you decide to be in a committed relationship with someone, there are these rules. And that sometimes makes Aquarius feel uncomfortable, especially if they feel like they don't even like you that much. You know what I mean? That's why they love a good fling. They love a good fuck buddy. They love a good friends with benefits, because there aren't a lot of expectations placed on them and in the relationship, because as soon as there's too many expectations, they start sweating. They feel like this is too much. They feel like they can't be independent. All of that very much scares Aquarius. They're so scared of their independence being taken from them, which is why it takes a very special type of person for Aquarius to suddenly see long-term commitment as a part of their future. You know what I mean? Again, like I mentioned with the Sagittarius one, it has to be someone that, you know, a rarity, just like Aquarius is. So when they feel like they found someone that views life like them, is able to do their own thing, doesn't conform to society's standards, Aquarius is turned on. They're like, oh, you like to create your own rules too? Oh, you like to have an open mind too? We can really build something together, you know, because we're not just, you know, saying this is how our relationship is going to be and it's going to be like that forever, you know, and that's just it. Aquarius hates that. So knowing that they found someone that is willing to shift and change the rules with them, they're about it. Okay, last but not least, we have Pisces. This is how you recognize that you found a soulmate. They will ground you, Pisces. Yeah. Pisces is very flighty. Pisces lives up in the air, lives up in their dream world. Virgo, their sister sign, is practical. Pisces is not very practical. Pisces likes to, you know, live in the fantasy world. Let their imagination take over. You know what I mean? And a lot of that is beautiful in so many ways, but then when it comes to real life situations and real life responsibilities, it can get Pisces into trouble because they have a hard time adjusting to reality. They have a hard time being grounded. You have to kind of like gentle parent them in a way, and make them feel like it's their decision that they're doing this. And, you know, a lot of times, yes, Pisces hates responsibilities and the brutal reality of this world, like all of that. Ugh. And I get it. I kind of agree with you. Like everything that we're forced to do, I don't like, but we still got to do it to be able to live a grounded life, right? Like at the end of the day, we need jobs because we need to have a home. You know what I mean? Like these are like annoying things that we have to do, certain things we have to do, but when you do it, you feel better about yourself. I'm not saying stop asking questions and just let this society, you know, beat you down. But what I am saying is at some point you have to be responsible and you have to feel grounded in the decisions that you make. That's why I feel like Pisces can get in their feels a lot of times, is because they haven't grounded themselves enough. Like they're living in that la la land world. So then when they come back down and reality hits them, it's too harsh. The transition is too harsh. So they get really, really sad, you know? But if you come down a little more often, you know, like you don't have to be down forever, Pisces. You can still live in your little, you know, fantasy world. But if you visit the ground level a little bit more often, then that transition won't be so harsh where you feel like it's depressing to live in this world and have to have the burden of responsibilities on your shoulders. And I think the right type of person is the type of person that you do want to feel grounded with, and that, you know, makes coming down and being on the ground worthwhile for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys, that is the end of this list. Again, I really, really love this list. Go check them out on Instagram. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Let me know if you agreed with your sign. Did you agree with your rising, your moon, your sun? Let me know down below. I would love to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video before you leave. And I will see you guys later this week. Bye, y'all.